Hello and welcome to the first episode of A Casual's Perspective. Let's just dive right in. We're covering patch 4.4 on Smite. Now we got the new god, Cernanos. He looks like he's going to be really strong. His passive, basically he cleaves at melee range while throwing at long range. His first ability is a 4 buff-ish passive, sort of like Kronos's, but instead of just choosing one at the given time, you're going to go through the 4 motions. Bramble Blast is like Anhur's too, but it roots instead of pushes him back. And then he's got Chiron's Charge. And then the Wild Hunt, which is like an area of effect polymorph from World of Warcraft. Now we go through all the skins that we certainly care about, and the only thing of note is Thanatos because puns. And we get to item changes. They've buffed Bancrofts. I don't think this is going to make it very relevant, but the increased lifesteal from the passive is at least nice. Book of the Dead, they took 200 gold off and increased its lifesteal. I don't like that they're changing this item and buffing it in 2 different places. If they were going to balance this correctly, I think they should have done it at one place at a time, but you'll see that's a common theme throughout these patch notes. Now, what they are doing throughout this patch is nerfing Fatalis as a whole. On the tier 2, I think this is, they took 5% attack speed. That does nothing. They decided they were going to... this change makes no sense. They made it go up to 1,000 gold, but I disagree with the rituals as a whole, so I'm going to leave a lot of those comments out. These need to be taken out of the game, especially Combat Blink and Teleport. Frenzy was a good idea, but it could be made back into an active and no one would care. Fatalis going up to 2,300 gold. It's still going to be strong because of the penetration that was added when Season 4 started. But it does bring it in line so that it might not be picked up as early. Heartseeker got a 300 gold nerf. What this does is brings it in line with both Brawlers and Jotun's Wrath. So you're going to be seeing less Heartseeker because those other 2 items, like that being the Brawlers and the Jotuns, have a lot more stats on it that make it a lot more viable. You might see it on, say, like Thanatos or Loki, because they are all about doing really like fast damage and then getting the hell out of there. That's an important change. God changes. Apollo gets a nerf. This is his most significant nerf. Again, they're changing 2 things at once. I would have liked to see them just change Serenade, and then if he's still overperforming, then to do So Beautiful, but this is going to hurt his boxing potential a lot. Kuzumbo gets a buff for some reason. Basically, now he gets increased cooldown reduction with his 2. It's not that big of a change. And then they fixed this because apparently reducing 100% healing meant something different than actually reducing 100% healing. Raw updated description. Sylvanas, this is one of the funnier changes for me. They've increased the cooldown at ranks, at like the other ranks, so that his early game is hit. What makes Sylvanas so strong early game is not the fact that he has a 12-second root. It's the fact that he has an area of effect basic attack, so he can go into whatever lane he wants and pin down all 3 archers at the same time with his basics, and then they all die, and then he out-clears with his presence. This isn't going to change a lot. No, Sylvanas is still going to be really strong. Xbalanque, this change does nothing, because with the new Death's Toll, mana wasn't a huge issue on him. This change is nice for the Xbalanque players, but 10% scaling on 2 parts, all it's going to do is make a bit more of a reward if you use it offensively. They nerfed Zeus, which is fine. His 2 was really strong. And I'm a fan of some of these changes, but again, look, they've changed a lot, like 2 things at once, but let's just get into it here. This is a very important change. What it does is basically, if you play Zhang Kuei in the solo lane, what you were doing is you were throwing Expose Evil through the wave and then using Exorcism to build up your passive as well as to clear the wave. By increasing this to 75%, It makes the scaling and the base damage on Expose Evil a lot more relevant. By reducing the amount of time it takes the demons to both come into the demon bag and to go back out, it's actually buffing Zhong, because on his ultimate especially, you can get a lot more demons out in the same amount of time, which is going to do more damage. This is the best change in the patch. It's going to bring Zhong Kui into a better spot than he was previously. But yeah, I'm a fan of the increase. It's going to be interesting to see where he lies. Now that is the summary of patch 4.4. I tried to do it as fast as possible. If you enjoyed watching today, please leave a like on the video. If you want to see more from me, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, guys, this is Keltick the Casual, signing off.